Good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That shit always freaks me out every time it pops up.
I feel like it's a fair warning,
All
though,
right.
you know?
What's good, man?
What's good with you, boy? How you been?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you know, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Man, y'all got these cool ass backgrounds. I don't got shit.
That's just because our rooms are messy.
Oh, okay. Mine is a little messy too. Shit.
Right. I don't want. No, your room's looking better than ours. Goddamn it.
At least I can say my shit ain't virtual, but I don't know. That shit looks fly.
I try to just put up memories, you know, like memories of Austin dying behind me when we do this podcast.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, welcome, man. Thank you for making some time to hang out with us.
Of course.
It sounds like you're pretty busy from what Reggie's saying.
Yeah, we definitely.
I have, like, today, just, I'm glad he texted me. I didn't even remember. I had so much shit going on. I was like, fuck, I already did this. I got this going on. Luckily, I had someone that was going to come in that canceled on me, so I got about an hour. So I figure, why not? Let's make it happen.
Good.
Reggie, you want to give him the rundown on the show real quick?
Oh, man, we great. Well, basically, our whole aim with this podcast is we want to talk to the people, not to say that nobody wants to talk to, but the people that's not really getting talked to. You know what I mean? To get those stories about, and especially with you, because I've seen you pivot and transition so many times, you know, and a lot of times those stories go untold. You know, people think that shit just magically happens when there's motherfuckers out here with boots on the ground. And we just want to hear those stories and bring that shit to light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
To kind of expose that, to let motherfuckers know, yo, it's a process. You know what I mean?
For sure, it's definitely a process, and the process never ends.
So yeah, you ain't heard of this podcast, man?
Right, exactly.
We're in season 2 now, and yeah, Reggie kind of explained it, man. We like to just talk to people who live a life in art, and I mean, I know we don't know each other personally, but I know you're a great example of that because I followed your career for a little while.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I just listened to the podcast y'all did with Henry, most of it. Henry's a good friend of mine, so super dope, man. Henry did a lot of stuff for me back in the day, and yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, I don't know if we formally said it though, but we've got Question with us here today.
Yeah. Question, I'm here.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, Henry's a good member of our team, man. He's a visual fucking wizard for sure.
He's amazing, man. That guy never ceases to amaze me.
Well, we like to start with the man. We like to start with the origins, man. And I know you don't have a lot of time today, so let's start with your musical influence. I know I was reading that you had a lot of rock and roll influence in your early days before you went into the military. So just kind of tell us how you got into music in general.
Yeah, I mean, rock and roll, I won't say that it was primary. Like, I've been a hip hop head since I was 5 years old, man, dressed up as the Fat Boys for Halloween, and LL Cool J was my early idol, somebody that I just was obsessed with. However, my mama was, she was into classic rock. Like, at the time, I guess it wasn't classic, but now it's considered classic rock. So like Led Zeppelin and Steve Miller Band, and a lot of obscure bands that people don't even remember, like, 38 Special and all this, Leonard Skinner, all that shit. My mama listened to all that shit, and she listened to a lot of soul music too. So I had a pretty good balance, but rock was something that, always got played in my household Saturday morning, making me clean the house up. I didn't get to listen to hip hop. She wasn't a hip hop fan, so I had to listen to a lot of, like I said, Leonard Skinner and Led Zeppelin, and that kind of music was the theme to my parenting, the way I was parented. However, I think early on where I grew up, everybody listened to hip hop, and it was, I'm older, man. I'm 41, so for me, when I started 6, 7 years old, we're talking Curtis Blow, Run DMC, LL Cool J. That time frame is when I fell in love with it. And it's funny because I'm working on something right now that's kind of documenting all this shit. And I remember 10 years old telling my mama, like, I'm gonna be a rapper one day. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, man, that's what I'm gonna do with my life, no matter what. And yeah, I've had a ton of bumps and bruises along the way. And there was a whole bunch of obstacles and a whole bunch of things that kind of impeded that. But once I got to it, I proved a few people wrong. And credit to my mom later on, she supported it. You know, she supported it, but nobody else did. You know, I didn't have anyone else in my family that looked at that as like a viable career, or, you know, I even had any. Oddly enough, I remember my pops was locked up most of my life, man. My pops was a heroin addict and not around much. When he finally got out, it was right the very beginning stages of my career before I had a record deal or anything. I had a rap truck. I was driving around trying to get my CDs off the whole nine. And my pops tried to tell me, man, you're wasting your time with this shit. And I remember I was mad as a mother. I was like, motherfucker, who are you to tell me I'm wasting my time? Like, you've been locked up half my life. Ironically, though.
You've been wasting your time.
Yeah, you've been wasting your time. And me and him almost got into a fist fight at Thanksgiving over. It was crazy, bro. But the following year, I told him, I said, man, I'm going to prove you wrong. And the following year, literally almost a year to the date, when I signed my deal with Epic Records, I photocopied the whole contract, 80-something pages, and I went and fucking left it on his doorstep on some petty shit. But, you know, that was the climb for me. So, yeah, that's my origins really begin there. Early hip hop, but obviously, you know, really when I got entrenched into it, you know, I was a big, obviously being from Texas, you know, Scarface is probably my favorite rapper of all time, greatest storyteller. I pride myself on telling stories too. So that comes from being a Face fan. You know, UGK, obviously. But then I remember having a cousin who lived in New York. And so he would send me all these mixtapes before you could get them on the internet. You know, that shows you how old I am. So he used to send me care packages with, you know, DJ Clue and fucking everything else. And so I just became enamored with East Coast hip hop too. So those two things, from UGK to Scarface to, you know, getting into the Wu-Tang and Nas and, you know, fucking Big L, like that was my shit. That was what raised me and reared me and what my influences were. That's how they began.
Yeah, right. It sounds like you had a good.
No, I'm an old nigga too. I'm.
Go ahead.
I'm 40, so like I'm.
Oh, you right there with me.
you.
Then you know what the
like,
fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I understand.
You know exactly what I'm
some
talking
of our
about.
younger listeners may not know, but I know exactly what.
You know what I'm talking about. Pre-internet, pre-cell phone. Like the internet was a thing, but it wasn't a thing.
Man,
you know what I mean?
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't, and music wasn't up like that. I had a partner that would come down from New York with the mixtapes because I was in Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can relate.
Yeah,
That's
same
cool.
thing for me. Like I
Get a little influence from the East Coast.
Yeah, huge influence on the East Coast. And then oddly enough, when I got out of the military, I moved to LA to go to audio engineering school. And then I got fully, I mean, not to say that I wasn't into West Coast hip hop growing up, because I love, you know, I think everybody did, you know, Snoop and Warren G and G-Funk, and got into some of the Bay Area shit. But when I moved to Cali, I didn't get, I had no choice than other to get acclimated and kind of sucked into the West Coast hip hop scene, because if you didn't, you were kind of just left in the dust. So I would say, other than, you know, the Midwest was probably the one thing that, not to say that I wasn't a fan of it, but West Coast, East Coast, and Dirty South really kind of influenced me for the most part.
Right. So you went into the military. How long were you? Did you do 2 years or
2.5 years, and then got kicked out?
Okay. And I was reading that you the military helped fund your going to the art school. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I was able to retain my GI Bill when I got out. And then I used that to go to Los Angeles Recording School in LA. And my goal was to be an audio engineer.
What was the LA? Why particularly did you go to school down in LA?
Just because it was considered one of the better schools. And at the time, it wasn't owned by Full Sail, but it was like, you had Full Sail in Florida, and then you had LA Recording School in LA. Now it's owned by Full Sail, but when I went there, it wasn't. And then I just wanted to get the fuck out of San Antonio. I wanted to get the fuck, you know, in the military. The funny thing is, I joined the military thinking I was going to travel, and then I got stationed in San Antonio where I grew up. So, I mean, I
your
went
family was happy at least.
Yeah, my family was happy, but I wasn't. And so the opportunity just to get some, you know, a little bit of a balance to my life. Like I'd seen and done a few things here, but I wanted to see the rest of the world. And LA was, I mean, if you're gonna do it, why not go all the way? LA was, for me, life-changing. I learned some things that I wouldn't have ever, me moving to LA, none of this stuff would have been possible for me. I went out there and obviously going to school, but then my first internship in engineering school was with Raphael Saddiq from Tony.
Okay,
and
okay.
that fucking opened up my whole world. Like it changed
Shouts
my whole
out
life.
to Raphael Saddiq.
Yeah, raised my dude. So that definitely put me on a path, and I learned so much about music and made lifelong contacts with people. And later on the line, when I was became an artist, a lot of those same people helped me along the way. So, building those relationships early meant a lot to me.
And not burning them.
yeah, for sure.
So I saw.
Right, I'm not gonna let you speak. Hold on. I'm not gonna let you speak past this because there's a story here, and it's one of my favorite stories that this nigga tells.
Yeah, let's
Which
hear
one
it.
are you asking about?
He knows which one I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
The D'Angelo shit, because D'Angelo's like my favorite.
Oh shit!
Like Stevie Wonder.
I'll tell two stories. It's really a two-part story. I don't even know if you know the first part, Reggie. It's pretty funny. So I was new to LA, working for Raphael. I smoked weed my whole fucking life, but I had never really smoked good chronic until I moved to LA. So I Raphael fucked with me because he was just like, man, you're like a street cat. You're not like all these other interns. You're not, no offense to them, but you're not nerdy. I know you can handle yourself. I got something. I want to see if you'll take a package to Santa Monica for me. And this is the day before his video shoot for this song called Be Here that D'Angelo was on. So I'm like, yeah, for sure, I'll do that. They stuck me in a car, basically gave me directions. And this is how long ago that is there was no GPS on the phone. So it was like MapQuest printed out on a piece of paper for me to figure out how to get to Santa Monica. And I'm new to LA, so I don't know shit. So I asked my roommate, was a dude named Reggie, who was from Long Beach. And I say, hey bro, can you ride with me? I don't even know who I'm going to see, but they want me to take this package. It was in a big manila envelope. I show up to the hotel. I leave Reggie in the car. I go up there. I say, yeah, I'm looking for Malcolm in room 512. They just told me I was going to meet a guy named Malcolm. So I go up to the room. He opens the door. He's like, hey, what's up, kinfolk? I'm out. He looks like a pimp, bro. Like straight up out of like, just straight up. I was like, damn, man, gator boots, the whole nine, had the whip hat on. What's up? Yeah, man, you want to smoke? Yeah, I want to smoke. All right, cool. He starts fucking to roll up and do all these different things, right? And then out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody walk in the room, fucking just wearing some basketball shorts, and I look up and it's D'Angelo. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm trying not to look, because I'm also a huge D'Angelo fan. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm chilling with D'Angelo. And then they start rolling up, and then they were rolling White Owls. And I didn't ever smoke out of White Owls. From Texas, where everybody smoked out of Swishers. So I'm like,
we don't really fuck with the White Owls.
Right. I'm like, man, I never fuck with no White Owls. They're both from Virginia. So dog, they start passing us around. I'm hitting this shit like it's dirt weed. And they're like, hey man, you might want to chill out, man. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm just trying to be cool as fuck. You know what I mean? So anyway, we sit there, talk, we bullshitting. D'Angelo barely says a word, bro. He's just kind of like going along with the conversation. Oh, you from Texas? Oh, cool. You been to Houston? I'm like, of course. Just small talk. Fam, I get out to the car, and when I get in the car, my heart just starts racing. And my boy's in the car. He's been waiting for me. I've been up there for like an hour. And bro, my shit's like beating through my chest. My lips are like quivering. My man says, yo, what's wrong with you, bro? And I was like, I don't know, bro. I ain't never felt like this in my life, dog. I'm having like a full-blown panic attack. And so the crazy shit about it is, we get in the car, we start driving. I tell this fool, hey man, pull over. He says, pull over. I said, dog, you gotta call 911. I think I'm dying. Oh, he said, you dying? I said, yeah. They call the paramedics. The paramedics come. So the paramedics come. They tell me, did you smoke crack? And then I start thinking, hey, did they put something in the blunt? Like, I'm really thinking this. Of course, it wasn't. It was just, I had never smoked no weed like that. They gave me a Xanax, had me chill out. I call and tell the studio, Raphael, I call over there to talk to the person in the studio and tell them what happened. And they're just clowning me. They're just laughing their ass off. So I come in the next day. That's the day of the video shoot. So the day of the video shoot, D'Angelo we're at the set. and they're all clowning me about the smoking thing. Yeah, we talked to Malcolm. They say you was tripping out even before you left the room. You know, I'm getting clowned. I'm just eating it up. Like, all right, man, cool. You know. So then they said D'Angelo was supposed to be here at 1 o'clock to shoot these scenes. He's nowhere to be found, dog. Like they can't get a hold of him the whole day. 3 hours passed, still nothing from him. And on the set, there's a guy who starts talking to Raphael just about studio equipment. He's just some old white dude, like lighting guy. And he was like, yeah, man, do you have a Studer, like a reel-to-reel in there? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, man, I have unreleased Jimi Hendrix tapes that nobody's ever heard in their life. Like they've never before been heard. He's like, I'll bring them tomorrow and I'll let you check them out. Like we'll put them on a thing. And so Raphael's like, cool. And the guy starts talking, and Raphael used to date Johnny Guitar Watson's daughter. So he tells dude, I got a whole bunch of unreleased Johnny Guitar Watson. He was like, dope, man, I definitely want to check it out. So they start just talking music shop, whatever. D'Angelo never shows up to the shoot, bro. He's supposed to be there Saturday, doesn't ever come in. So everybody's like, man, we missed a whole day of shooting because he just decided not to come in. So here comes Sunday. We get in there Sunday. Dude brings the fucking tapes and he puts them on the Studer, rolls them up, and sure enough, bro, it's like it's Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland Studios, like demos. And when I mean demos, it's like him playing the guitar and he's mumbling melodies with no words, like just making up shit. And it's hours and hours and hours of just Jimi Hendrix. So Raphael, the dude says, yeah, I can't let y'all have this, but I'll let you play it. He left the room. Raphael says, man, fuck that, hit record. And so we recorded them in. So motherfucking, they still can't get D'Angelo, but a lot of people don't know D'Angelo's obsessed with Jimi Hendrix. When he Electric Ladyland, because he said before he got there, he kept having dreams of Jimi Hendrix coming to him. So enough, Raphael said, look, man, tell D'Angelo that we got unreleased Jimi Hendrix tapes here. Like, that's all you need to tell him. He's going to show up. They tell him, sure enough, man, 45 minutes pass, and here comes D'Angelo walking in the room. Where they at? We're like, no, we got to film this video. And then he's like, no, fuck that. Pull him up. Oh, I got to hear this shit. So he goes in the fucking mixing room, and he's in there alone. And then I guess he told someone for me to come in there. I walk in. He says, I need you to go and get me candles. We didn't have no candles there. So I had to go to Ralph's, like the grocery store. And I got those like Virgin Mary candles, but I got like 30 of them bitches. Cool. Brought them back. And he took them all in there and said, give me a lighter and shut the door. Please shut the door. So we do that. He's in there jamming Jimi Hendrix for like 2 hours. And finally, Raphael was like, bro, somebody needs to go in there and tell him, like, we have to shoot. Like, I'm done playing with him. Like, and a lot of people know that about Raphael. He seems like a real soft, like neo soul. Man, he's from East Oakland to the bone. Like, when you get to know him, he's a gangster, bro. I'll say it straight up. Like, Raphael is a gangster, bro, and people don't realize it. So we get in there, and he says, man, go in there and get D'Angelo. So I walk in there, and brother is butt naked, sitting Indian style, with 30 candles going, and he's just listening to Jimi Hendrix. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, this is the craziest shit ever, dog. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. And I was like, hey, man. And he don't even break his concentration, nothing. He says, tell them I'll be out in 20 minutes. I fucking walk out, and I said, man, he said he'll be out 20 minutes. And Raphael said, what's going on there? I said, bro, he's butt naked in there. He said, yeah, that's his thing. Like, god damn, dog. And it was funny, man. He finally came out to shoot the scenes. He didn't make eye contact with nobody, didn't talk to nobody, except for some little kid came up and asked him for an autograph. And bro, you would have thought he knew that kid forever. He had like a 20-minute conversation with that kid, full on, like, what's your favorite sport? What's your favorite video game? The whole, like, wouldn't talk to nobody else had a conversation with him but that kid. And then they ended up filming the video and put that shit on.
Oh yeah. What video is that? Do you remember?
It's called Be Here.
I gotta watch this shit.
Yeah, Be Here. Raphael Saddiq featuring D'Angelo. What's crazy is, I know, Reggie, you probably know the song. Do you know Still Ray? By Raphael Saddiq?
Yeah, that boop, 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 boop.
Okay, so check this out. I got another crazy. This story is gonna flip you out.
One of the best we've ever had on the show. I just gotta say.
Okay, hold on. I think I might be able to top
this. That's probably the best.
I might be able to top this.
Oh god damn.
This is still a Raphael story, but they're recording Still Ray. This is before that video ever happened. They're recording the album Instant Vintage. And like I said, this was probably a week before the D'Angelo thing, or maybe 2 weeks. I had just started working there, bro. Like I'm probably like third day in. So they tell me, hey man, we need to go rent a tuba from SIR to play. And Kelvin Wooten, who produces now, works with J. Cole. This was Kelvin Wooten when he was young. He was playing the tuba on this song. So they're like, we need to go rent a tuba. So I'm like, cool. So they give me directions, same thing, MapQuest. Here you go. And then I don't have a car, so this guy Ruben that was there, he was like, man, you can use my car. And I was like, all right, man. But he had this little ass truck, and the whole back part of the truck was full of like parts. I guess it was his dad's truck. It had like plumbing parts in it. So it just had like a front seat. I was like, man, this shit ain't even gonna fit. I doubt it'll fit. So the other dude who works there says, man, you can take my car. And I'm like, cool. So I take his car. I go down there to get a tuba. I'm driving back, and the fucking car breaks down, dog, on the fucking 405, like middle of traffic, middle of the day. Shit is done for, bro. It's just, I'm dead. I don't even have a cell phone. So I got to walk like probably 2-3 miles down the road to one of those. In LA, they got these emergency phones on the side of the highway in a little yellow box. And I have to call, and I call the studio and say, hey, bro, I broke down. And I'm over here with the tuba that y'all need. So Ruben that had the truck, they say, we're sending Ruben to come get you. Now, mind you, in my head, I'm already thinking, damn, where am I going to put the tuba?
There's no way we fit in this fucking truck.
Yeah. We're not all going to fit in the truck. Like, it's only going to, like, so I'm going to have to leave the tuba behind?
They're not coming to get you. They're coming to get the tuba.
Guess what, bro? They left me and took the tuba and said, we'll be back for you in a little bit. So I waited another hour and a half in traffic. They came and got me.
Probably hot as hell, too.
Hot as fuck in the middle of the summer, bro. They come get me and finally take me back. But because I did that, that's kind of how I got cool with Raphael, because he didn't really talk to interns. He said, damn, dog, you was waiting on the side of the road? I said, yeah, bro. He said, man, come on in. And he invited me into the session, and I got to watch Kelvin record the tuba for Still Ray.
Wow. That's bad.
Yeah, wow. I also had a pretty crazy run-in with Suge Knight at Raphael's studio that he, I thought I was going to buck up to Suge Knight until I realized who he was. It's crazy because, so at the time, this was later on, but at the time, Raphael was working on the new TLC album. This is right before Left Eye passed away. And Left Eye was also working on a solo album because she was fucking with Suge Knight, and she was going to do this Supernova album on Death Row. So she's working on the TLC album in the studio. Matter of fact, what's crazy is that day, there's the first time I ever smoked an onion blunt, where she took the outside of an onion and would roll like a whole blunt out of it. Not the actual onion, but just the peel, because she didn't want to smoke papers because she said it caused cancer. So she just smoked the peel, and she sealed it with like organic honey, and I smoked a blunt with her, and I was like, God damn, this shit's crazy. That same night, I'm sitting in the lobby, and I hear someone beating on the door, and I fucking open the door, and this motherfucker says, hey, cracker, you don't hear me knocking? And I jump back like, bitch. I was about to say like, bitch. And I look, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Suge Knight. That's Suge. Oh, fuck. And he just pushed me out the way, bro. Like, literally just stiff armed me out the way. And I was about to say something again, because I still was like, man, fuck this. And I look in the parking lot, and there's two cars.
Yeah.
And he's probably fucking 10 deep.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna end bad. But I told y'all, Raphael is a gangster. He came in there and tried to, he's like, where's Lisa? Where's Lisa? Dog, Raphael came out there and said, hey, motherfucker, don't you ever step foot in my fucking studio and disrespect. Like, bro, little ass Raphael was talking to Suge. Like, he's like, bro, you know where I'm from. You know my kinfolk. You know all my people. Don't you ever fucking disrespect my spot. And Suge was like, man, just tell her to come out here. I just need to talk to her. And she finally came out, and they was arguing in the parking lot. But that shit was fucking crazy. Hot. And then she literally died like a month later, man.
Wow.
Damn,
so, yeah, bro.
Sound like some crazy times during that internship, man.
Yeah, it was the craziest, bro. If I sat here and really did it, I could probably tell y'all 30 other stories that are fucking wild, bro. Like, super wild.
The D'Angelo butt naked with the candles is fucking hilarious.
Legendary, man.
I had to get
someone needs to animate that story, bro.
Hell yeah, that shit was funny as hell.
Yeah, maybe Henry could do the sales for it.
Henry could definitely do that. Yeah, it would look great.
So did I see that you worked with at some point you made your way back to Texas and you were still interning? Because I saw you worked with Mojo somehow. You
Nah, not interning. I managed Mojo. So,
oh, okay.
So
I thought you
enough,
said that you met Easy working at a studio or something, but I was just kind of.
So I had I came back to Texas, and I got a job at a studio, Motion Sonic Studios, and within, I don't know, man, like 3-4 months, they made me basically the manager of the studio.
Okay, what year around this you're coming back to Texas?
2003, 2004, maybe. I think it was 2003. So actually, I started recording. Shout out to Glow. She was a poet from here. She was doing this poetry album, and she brought Charles in to do poetry, and then we just started talking. And then the moment I mentioned, I just got out of school and worked for Raphael Saddiq, because this is literally like 6 months after I left working with Raphael. He was like, "Wait, hold on, what? You know Raphael Saddiq?" I said, "Yeah, that's my dude." And that just started the whole conversation. So he started playing music for me. I was blown away by the music. And at the time, I was selling dope and had a little bit of money put away. And I was like, yo, I'll put some money behind this. Had another homeboy of mine, Kevin, who also, just said, man, let's team up and put some money. So I initially put funding behind Mojo for that first album. But then I kind of became their manager. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but tried to be their manager. And then they brought my homeboy Lasana into the fold. And so it's weird. Me and him kind of co-managed them, took them out to LA, shopped them to various labels, met with Hidden Beach, met with Sony, met with Warner Brothers, and everybody loved them, but everybody was like, man, trying to push a band. We just got a lot of pushback,
That's what
and,
he
and
said
never went the way it was supposed to go. But Lasana is oddly enough is like, he's at Cal now, big lecturer, does a ton of things. He's like my big brother now, like my mentor. But that's how that relationship started. So I started out kind of co-managing Mojo. And their journey is the reason I got a record deal. Like honestly, I took them out to LA to play the BET Awards after party and meet Raphael. And I invited this music exec, Evan Bogart, that I knew. His dad founded Casablanca Records with Tommy Mottola. I had known him for years. I said, yo, man, come check out this band. I rented a limo, put everybody in the band in the limo. We was driving down Sunset, and we invited Evan. After the show, we was drunk and high, and people just started freestyling. I did that. I wasn't even really trying to be an artist. Started freestyling, and Evan just looks over at me and says, yo, where's your music at? I said, oh, bro, I'm a manager. He's like, nah, fuck that. You need to call me tomorrow. The next day, he took me to meet J.R. Rodham, and the rest was history.
Okay, crazy.
Man.
I kind of wanted to touch on because you're getting into the industry kind of like working with the studio side of things. So were you already writing lyrics too? Have you always been a rapper this whole time?
So I have been I say that I wasn't trying to be an artist. I was. So when I was 17 years old, I had a development deal with Loud Records. So I was in a group. Yeah. We went to LA. I had been rapping for years.
That was before the military, right?
Before the military, and kind of joined the military because I was just like, we had a song taken from us by Public Enemy when we were very young. Not that they had much to do with it, but one of the producers, we had a bunch of shit happen to us. So the song for the He Got Game soundtrack that they rapped on, that was originally our song.
Shit.
That was in. So a producer at the time. He took it from us, bro. So
are you saying you had Chuck D rapping your lyrics?
Not our lyrics, just the beat and the hook.
Okay,
the beat and the hook.
That's
the
still
beat.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I thought the crazy thing is I talked to a lot of people around Public Enemy years later, and they had no idea. They thought the producer that brought it to him brought it to him as his production. It wasn't. It was ours. And we were negotiating with Loud Records at the time. I auditioned, 18 years old, auditioned for Magic Johnson's record label in LA. He had just started his label. And they basically had finalized it to us and this R&B singer, and they picked the R&B singer, and the R&B singer was Avant. So it came down to us and Avant. Wow. So I had already been doing music. But when I got out of engineering school, I just at that point was like, look, man, I'm gonna get into the audio side and the production side and all those things. That was my plan. And then life just took a little turn, and dude heard me freestyle and was like, yo, let's see if you can make some records. And I got in. Actually, when I got in with JR, to answer your question, yeah, that's the long answer. But yes, I had always been writing. And it had worked with some. I had wrote some lyrics for Shaq. Did some ghostwriting for Shaq early on.
Oh shit.
I had done stuff already, just nothing that turned into anything huge. You know what I mean? Like even the Shaq stuff, some of the records we did didn't come out. But that was all early before the military. And then I decided I was going to be behind the scenes. And then when I took Mojo to LA, that started my journey, honestly. Like they took me to JR. JR had me meet up with Trey Songz, wrote with him, wrote with Stat Quo. Yeah. Pretty much anyone in that Aftermath circle I was dealing with, because JR was working with Dr. Dre. So I did that, and then it was like, all right, man, let's start doing shit for you. So like even the Riding Slow record that I did with Sean Kingston, I helped Sean write that hook for Paul Wall. That was supposed to be for Paul Wall. He passed on it, and then I just ended up using it. So yeah, I've written for, you know, over the years I've worked with Young Berg and wrote some stuff with Berg, and then I did stuff for the Lonely Island movie. So I've got a background in songwriting even beyond my own shit. So
okay, so someone saw you and saw your talent and thought that they could turn you into an artist or help you be your own artist. Solo artist?
So I mean, like I said, I was for a while and then took a break, and it was basically like, nah, don't take a break. Like, let's get back into it. So even stuff that I had done prior as an artist, they were like, nah, let's rework this. This is dope. Okay. Like I said, when I started fucking with Mojo, I really believed in Easy and Trey so much that I was like, I'm putting all my aspirations to the side. Right. And it actually is it's hard to do, but it's a testament to like how funny the world works. Is sometimes you focus on one thing and you think it's going to open one door and it opens another. So if I wouldn't have done that, if I wouldn't have been, I guess, selfless and say, yo, I'm going to put everything I have behind them, who knows where I'd be, man. I might have just fell flat on my face. The truth is, me trying to put them first opened the door for me. So that's why Easy is like, you know, and Trey, but me and Easy talk all the time. That's my brother. Like without him, without those guys, I don't think I would be sitting where I'm at.
Shouts to Mojo and Easy.
Man,
yeah,
that's what's up. We had, yeah. That's the homies. That's the homies. They new shit is crazy too.
It's super crazy.
Man, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
So what year was it that you got signed?
2008.
2008.
Yeah, 2008. Right at the beginning. Well, really, December 29th, 2007 is when I signed. So, yeah, 2008 is when they made the announcement. So, yeah, I signed with Epic Records. But crazy enough, man, like I met with everyone. Like everybody was trying to sign me after I did a feature on Lil Wayne, the Drought Is Over 2 mixtape. And that's really what put me over the edge. Like everybody was trying to sign me after that. We met with Def Jam, we met with Universal, we met with Atlantic.
Those were the good Lil Wayne days too.
Yeah,
man.
bro, it was special because that's another thing. Like without that opportunity, I probably wouldn't have got a record deal. Because even I had songs on the radio, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for them to say, all right, we want to take a chance on this. Right. But I remember this vividly. Actually, is I met with Damon Eden at Atlantic Records in New York. We had a meeting. And I bounced from the meeting and was at LaGuardia Airport, and I grabbed Vibe magazine to read on my flight, and it was the one with Lil Wayne on the cover, and it was like top 77 mixtape songs of 2007 with Lil Wayne, and the song with me and him was like number 35 or something. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, okay. I remember that.
And what's crazy about it is I had left Atlantic, and they told me, yeah, we're gonna look into you. And right when I'm about to board, Damon Eden called my manager and was like, yo, we just saw the Vibe magazine thing, tell them to come back. So I didn't even get on my flight and went and met with them, and they put an offer on the table. And of course, my manager was Johnny Shipes. Shipes was, you know, he was a beast. So he took the first offer we got from Atlantic and then went to everybody else and said, yo, Atlantic's offering this. What can y'all offer? And I ultimately took the deal with Epic. One, because they were talking about giving him a label deal because he had me and Nipsey, and they already had Sean Kingston up there at Epic. So it kind of made sense, but it was the most money. In hindsight, I kind of wish that I would have went with a label that was more hip hop centric and knew what to do with me, because Epic didn't at all. Me or Nipsey, actually. Didn't know what to do with either one of us. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, because the world didn't even hear about Nipsey until way later. They obviously put that one up too.
Nip was even in Nip became like one of my best friends to that. Like we were just together all the time, recorded a ton of music, but just got to know each other on a personal level. And like that for him, it's weird. What happened to me when I lost the record deal or it kind of went away, I became jaded. I was like, man, fuck, this is not worth it. He took the opposite approach of, nah, fuck that. I'm not letting this go down the way it went down. I'm going to change it. And put himself in pole position, man. He put himself in the driver's position. So I always admired that about him. And our relationship was weird because I'm a little older than him. Our birthdays are 2 days apart and a little older than him. So when he first met me and he knew that I had managed Mojo, and he came to me for a lot of advice, and I was like the big brother to him. And as our careers took different trajectories, that dynamic changed where he became my big brother and he was the OG and knew and experienced things that I never got to experience. And I love that. You know what I mean? I just saw the maturation. The thing about Nip that I'll tell everybody, it's funny. When I first met Nip, he was 20 years old, and we went to go eat at this spot called the Cafeteria in New York. What's crazy, anytime I go back to New York, I always eat there. We were there from like 2 a.m. until like 6 a.m, just me and him, just talking for hours, bro. And that night, he told me all the stuff he had planned, bro. He wanted to buy up, the Fat Burger on his block and the donut shop, and he wanted to, read clothing store, and he wanted to give all opportunity and jobs to people in that Slauson Crenshaw area. He wanted to open a child, like a STEM center for children. He wanted to revamp the basketball courts. He had this whole vision, and it's crazy, man. Like like no cap, everything he told me that night, Nip did. He did all of it, bro. Like every single bit of information he fed me that night, he accomplished it. So it says a lot about his character and who he was, man, beyond an artist. You know what I mean? Like he's someone who was a visionary and just knew, like, I'm going for it. I'm going to get what's mine.
Inspirational for sure. A lot of people could take a page out of his book, man. Rest in peace.
For sure.
Man, rest in peace, Nip. Man,
so we got about.
So
go ahead, Reggie.
No, because I want to go out of that into like what you're doing now, or the period, or your jaded period, and then
we got about 20 minutes
out of that jaded period.
Yeah, my jaded period is pretty simple, man. Like I was 2 weeks away from putting out my first single that had Actually, Charles Easy was on that song. He'll tell you about it. We had me, B.O.B. and Easy Lee on this record, and they were getting ready to drop it as my first single. My second single had John Legend on it. Like I was ready to go. Like it was getting ready to be. I was out of there. And 2 weeks before, the president of the record label who signed me was a guy named Charlie Walk. This is a guy who discovered Rage Against the Machine and Shakira and all this shit. He's the one who signed me. He quit. He upped and just quit. And when he quit, Sony kind of panicked and decided they were going to put this 32-year-old folk singer as the president of Epic Records. And her first action was, we're cutting the urban division. That was it. So because of that, me, Nipsey, and Sean Kingston, who had success, they decided no more. And that the plan was to move us to different labels under Sony. So there was talk that we might go to, Columbia, we might go to something under the Sony umbrella. Sean Kingston was able to do that because he sold records, but me and Nip didn't even really have anything out, just other than mixtape shit. And so we both got told, yeah, bro, we don't know what you're gonna do with you. I had a really good attorney, man, this dude, Dan Stewart, who still I work with. He's actually at Cobalt now, but Dan was Dr. Dre's attorney, fucking just a genius attorney. So he wrote my contract a certain way where if something like this happened, I had an out. Nipsey didn't actually. So Nipsey got shelved way longer than I did. He was stuck on Epic for like 2 years. I was stuck for about 9 months. The thing that sucks about it is, as soon as I knew I was going to be able to get off of Epic, a bunch of other labels were like, we'll sign you right now. We went back to Atlantic. We went to Interscope. We went to Universal. We actually, I think, went to, at the time, was Koch, which, the Grumblats, all that. We met with all those labels, and they said, as soon as you get out of your deal, we'll sign you to a new deal. You have a ton of momentum. Your mixtapes are everywhere. You got songs on the radio. It's a no-brainer. We'll make it happen. Can you walk with some of this music that you already created? Because I had already pretty much done more than an album. I probably did 60, 70 records at that point with big name producers. You know, I'd worked with High Tech. I had worked with Green Lantern. I had worked with everyone you can think of.
Just sitting on
and then Epic,
for the sake of the
sitting
label.
on all of it, bro. And Epic fought back. Epic was like, nah. The chick was just like, nah, you can't walk with anything. Matter of fact, we own your name. We own your likeness. So my attorney, it cost me $45,000, man, to get out of that deal. It took 9 months. I remember the Beat Bash was here in San Antonio, and I had a song on the radio, went to go perform at the AT&T Center, and before I got on stage, they served me with a cease and desist saying that I couldn't perform any of the songs that I released under Epic Records. So I had to literally go out there and just some random mixtape song is what I performed in front of 8,000 people because I wasn't allowed. And part of me was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And Johnny Shipes called me. He was like, bro, please don't do it, man, because they're going to sue me. They're going to sue all of y'all. Like, don't do it. So we ended up not doing it. Took 9 months to get out of the deal. And what's crazy is all those labels that wanted to sign me, when I went to them after 9 months of trying to get out, they all said, hey, man, like 6 months ago, this made sense. But 9 months is an eternity to a rapper. Like, you're not even relevant right now. So, nah, you're going to have to work to get your buzz back up, and then we can try to go back. And at that point, you're kind of damaged goods. It's like you were in the label system. It didn't work. It's very rare for somebody to say, hey, you just look, at that point, you're looked at as a failure. So it just jaded me. I was like, man, fuck all this. Like, this is
most
all...
people would just throw in the fucking towel after that.
Yeah, bro. I didn't necessarily want to say I threw in the towel, because what I did is I started, I had a band. I started playing with a band. I started doing some like different shit just for a creative outlet. And then I actually went to work for Apple because I just didn't have any money at that point. And at the time, I remember being embarrassed, bro. I went to like a job fair for Apple, and like people were asking me to take pictures and sign shit, but I'm there to get a job with them. So that was humbling. You know what I mean? That was extremely humble. But I'm happy for it, because then I was able to learn a whole bunch of shit in the tech field and got into that for years. And really what led me back to this is I always had the itch. You know what I mean? I no matter what, bro, like I know Reggie knows this. People have been asking Reggie to put out an album forever. He always has the itch. The itch is always there, man. As a creative, it's hard not to create. But for me, I was like, man, I can't create in the same space that I used to. And then about 2.5 years ago, I got really sick, man. I got like a rare stomach infection, was in the hospital. They were telling me I was going to die. And in the hospital, I remember saying, man, if I make it out this, I'm getting back involved in entertainment, like period. Not just music, but just every facet. I want to do dope shit. And that became my bottom. I'm just going to do dope shit. I want to curate cool shit and just not have any boundaries with it. And that's what I did, man. I got out that hospital bed and worked myself back up and decided I'm gonna start a management company. I was still doing IT, making good money the whole nine. And I finally just said, this ain't for me. I'm gonna figure it out. And I mean, I'm blessed. I had great relationships. So like Cameron and Marcus that I'm partnered with now, those are guys that I knew back in the day that were all part of my journey. And now we've come full circle. And now I'm the president of the entertainment company. I have artists that I manage. We got 2 TV shows in development. We're throwing boxing events and music events and a little bit of everything, clothing lines, everything. I realize now in hindsight, all those things I went through were for a reason. At the time, I was like, man, life sucks, right? And why is this happening to me? And now I go, oh, that's why it happened to me. So I'd be prepared for these moments. Yep. And it has. It's helped me a lot with guiding careers of artists and producers. It's helped me in the content I'm creating from a marketing standpoint. Like, you always say those things like, shit, if I knew then what I know now, it's true, bro. Like if back then I knew the shit I know now, I'd probably be super successful. But I'm never going to stop, putting my hand in these things and trying to be involved, because I love it. It's not even like money will come and go, man. Like I said, I signed a fucking $250,000 record deal. I know what it's like to have money. It doesn't last, man. Like, it comes and goes. You can be up one day and be down, just like selling dope. Same shit for me. I just sell dope. You be up and you be down, right? Same thing. But I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it. I'm passionate about creativity. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see people do dope shit, and I want to be a part and help in any way I can.
I think that's the overall in entertainment. Generally, it's becoming more apparent that age isn't relevant. Ups and downs aren't really relevant. People can still, and we also have a lot more access to more artists and entertainers. So like, there's different levels of entertainers now who can still make a living off of it, no matter what they've been.
It's crazy, man. When I was coming up, you didn't really have that. We live in a generation where everything's fragmented. Mm-hmm. You can literally become successful telling your story about how you failed, and people want to hear that story. You know what I mean? So it's all how you brand these things and put these things together. But to your point, man, like, we're in a very different space right now. And to me, it's scary to some who are used to doing things a certain way. And to others, this shit is wide open, man. Like, you can just do so much and create so much content, like what y'all are doing right now. Like 10 years ago, this wasn't really a thing. You know what I mean? Podcasting was still in its infancy. Now y'all are able to do this and have a message and go out and grow your platform. And it's yours. It's your intellectual property. Like, oh, that shit is dope, man. Like, just being able to do those things is, I don't know, man. That's really what I'm in right now, is trying to empower people, try to say, how do we move the needle forward? How do we do some shit that's never been done or was done so long ago that everybody thinks it's never been done? So that's really the wave I'm on.
And you've taken all these skills and shit you've been through and found a way to utilize them all together. We always highlight that with people, man.
I'm still learning, bro. I'm still fucking learning. You know what I mean? I'm still learning. And like,
they say success, you're supposed to teach what you've learned to new people.
Yeah, man. It's so true. It's not a cliche. Like, it's the truth, man. Success and failure. You know, failure is a great teacher, man. I've learned a lot. I probably learned way more from my failures than I have my successes.
Absolutely. What's your entertainment company called? Anyway, what are we talking about?
The umbrella, Davies Entertainment is my partner, Cameron. He had this entertainment company and I became the president of that. But I have Artificial Management, which is my management and media company. So like I said, we have a show that was already airing on Motor Trend that's getting ready to move to Discovery Channel. That's kind of why I had to move this meeting around. We've been meeting with Netflix about another possible show. Man. I just there's a whole bunch of shit going on. Hopefully, I mean, anybody who's been in entertainment knows that none of these things are a reality until they are. So other than the show on Motor Trend has already aired, so that's a reality. But everything else is just kind of hopefully. But we have some great partners. The content that we're putting out has been dope. So yeah, man, that's kind of where we're at.
All right. Can we do a don't sleep section real quick, man. Reggie? Who should we be checking out? Who are the people sleeping on, music-wise, artist-wise? You got anyone in particular in your head right now that you want to tell people they need to be checking out?
Someone I'm associated with, or just in general?
Doesn't have to be, but let's do one of each. How about one you're just...
Okay, so from who I'm associated with, like, obviously Bankroll and Corey Kendrick and Daniel Leon are three artists that I'm actively involved with.
Yeah, man.
I'm also, though it's not finalized, and this is like exclusive, I haven't told any of this, I'm real close to coming to terms with Jay Soldier from Austin. We've been going back and forth and bouncing ideas, and I love that kid's music. There's an artist in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, Jay Soldier's dope, man. I just fuck with him, man. His energy's cool. There's a kid in Tulsa, Oklahoma named Sunboy. That's like a kind of like a pop rock singer that I've been fucking with, super dope. His brother actually lives in Austin, and Reggie, nobody knows about him. It blows my mind, but he's super fucking dope.
That name sounds familiar. I wonder if I've heard it through the grapevine.
Yeah, you might have, man. So those are people that I'm dealing with. Outside of that, you know, here in San Antonio, there's Rich Greedy and Southside Hoodlum that I fuck with.
Okay, yeah.
Austin, I think Mama Duke is fucking incredible. There's just a lot of people that I think are super fucking dope. I heard someone today, like, his name is Vakil from Chicago. Someone just put me on to him, and yo, man, can just, I mean, like, really, 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 really rap at a high caliber. Obviously, because my background, like, I'm more, that's just like my shit, you know what I mean? So I like bar heavy shit. I know that's not always the vibe, but to me, that shit is coming back around. Everything's cyclical. So I really fuck with Vakil. He's super dope. Oswin Benjamin is someone else who I think is super fucking dope. I'm trying to think, man. there's another kid that someone just put me on to. Oh, there's a kid from here, from San Antonio named Traylon that I fucking love his music, man. It's like some stoner shit, but he's super talented.
How do you spell that one?
Treylen, Traylon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Traylon, okay.
No, that's a lot of good suggestions, man. We always like to try to hit our guests up for suggestions.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, I mean, because I do this now, it's pretty crazy. Like before, I was just a fan. I'm still a fan, but
yeah, of course.
every day I'm actively digging for just talent and just looking for people, and not just artists, but producers and videographers and editors and content creators, like podcast hosts. I'm looking for all of it. So
you have a good way for people to reach out to you that's not like direct, just in case they want to, or just follow you on.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, my Instagram, I'm accessible for my Instagram. So at question210, and then www.daviesentertainment.com has a pretty good breakdown of all the little stuff that we've done so far, from boxing to music to the TV show. There's a whole bunch of more content coming to it. So I would say those are the two places to reach out to me best.
Oh. Reggie, you got anything else?
Okay. No, man, I think that's it. And we pulling in right at time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I appreciate y'all. Man, if I would have had 2 hours to talk, I could have told y'all a whole bunch of other crazy ass stories. But
we'd love to have you back and some of your artists too, man. Like I would love to talk to Bank. I'm a fan personally. So
yeah, man, Bank's going through. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I think we're going to try to get Bank and Corey at the same time. That would be dope.
I think it would be dope. They got a tape coming out. Them together are fucking hilarious, especially when they're stupid high. So the two of them would be good. Bank, I've been hitting him up about doing the podcast, but he's got a pregnant girl right now that he's dealing with that. So it's just been hit or miss trying to get him locked down to anything. I already know, bro. So same thing, man. I'm going. My daughter's 19 months, man. So it's nuts.
All these daddies out there, man.
New babies.
babies on babies on babies.
You next, bro.
I'm playing some dogs, bro.
I'm put that juju on you. Playing some dogs. But shit, man.
Don't worry, man.
Question, man. We appreciate you for like
podcast. You'll be fine.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we just want to like thank you for taking the
Of course, bro. I appreciate it. I always appreciate it. Anything for you, Reg. You're my man. You still got to come pull up on me, man.
I know. I'm as soon as I'll be there sooner than later because I want to see it, man. Like the pictures and the overall visual, man. That shit looks like.
Come up in here, pull up, make some music, enjoy yourself. I'll block out the whole studio for you for a night, bro. Just let me know what you want to do.
Reggie, you need to do that.
I'm definitely, and it's recorded. I gotta take advantage of that.
So look, I'll kind of show you. So you see what we got on the wall, and then the whole entire boxing facility is downstairs.
Wow.
So come get a workout in. Come play the drums.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then
man,
I got
that's boss shit right there, dude.
Full live room, man. So whatever you want to do, come let me know, bro.
Man.
Like I said, the invitation is real, bro. The invitation is 100% real. So if you tell me, bro, I want to come on a Monday night or a Sunday night or whatever, you want to bring your kids, whatever, just let me know and I'll block it out for you.
My guy, I'm coming. I would text you.
All right, cool. Make sure you hit me and let me know. We'll get it cracking.
For sure, my man.
Shit, man. That's my
shit.
man.
I think we pretty much done. Goddamn.
All right, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, brother. We appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have no idea, man. It's always an honor and a pleasure, bro. So anytime, man. All right, bro.
All right.
I'm gonna hit you soon, bro.
Hit me, please.
Peace.
That was a good one. Hey, man, I want to shout out our sponsor.
Yo.
topofthegalaxy.com.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all make sure you go check out our partners. If you're a smoker or medicinal patient, CBD, whatever it is you do, they got you covered. They got packs, vaporizers, they got the Puffcos, they got the G pens, they got glass, everything you could possibly need for your medicine. There's medicinal patient discounts. They plant a tree for every purchase. They're just all around a good company based out of Austin, Texas. So go to topofthegalaxy.com and use our discount code Yahoo, YAHOU, all caps. That's 20% off your whole purchase. Yahoo at topofthegalaxy.com, man. And you ain't heard of us.store. We got merch. We're about to have hats. I'm getting the design submitted, and we're gonna get dad hats, trucker hats, snapbacks, as soon as I can. I'm working on it right now. So you ain't heard of us.store too as a way to directly support us and contribute to that Zoom fee, contribute to, you know, that time we got to take off to do this. All that, it helps. Everything helps.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You got
okay.
You got any updates or announcements or anything before we close this shit out?
No, every other Wednesday, Butter and Jams at Spider House. But I think we might be moving it. We just got another offer, which reminds me.
Oh, yeah?
Make some phone calls.
Y'all not fucking with that Guadalupe location?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's just dope, but, you know. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. I was just curious if there was a particular issue. Where do y'all do it in anyway? That little indoor area or like the big one? Or outside?
The inside, like the indoor area?
Yeah,
the indoor area?
The actual ballroom area?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The ballroom. Yeah. It's been dope, man. So we're not doing it
it's every other week?
It's fucking, well, when this come? Yeah, so what the fuck is today?
I hope y'all are doing it when I come down this week in September. Today is Thursday. So y'all are doing it next week? You didn't do it last night, right?
No, we're gonna do it next week. So that'll be the 28th of July. So I don't know when we're putting this out, but
I'm ASAP. Hopefully
yeah, fucking come check us out.
We're gonna shoot for Tuesdays, I think. Did we say Tuesdays?
Yeah, that's dope. That was.
I think we're gonna shoot. For okay, 5 Central or 7 Central or something like that on Tuesday. I wanted to give a shout out to Gerald G. And just, you know, he's in our thoughts. He's got a GoFundMe going on. You can go donate. We're trying to like let him rest up and not have to get back to work and do shit proper. So you can go find his GoFundMe, I'm sure, just by going to his page, or I know Bavu's been sharing it. So that's going on, man. Make sure everyone goes give something, even $1, shit, $5.
Yeah, man, anything helps, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy shit, man. I hope he recovers properly. I see him on Facebook already, so that's good, you know.
I mean, he's still talking his shit, so that's a good sign, you know.
Mr. 512.
That's a good sign.
Word, yeah, that was dope, man. I'm glad we got to squeeze that one in. Fucking if you don't got anything else, you ain't heard of us everywhere. Reggie Kobe's at Mr. Kobe with a 0, and I am at dosage_YAH. You know what time it is.
Yeah.